Hi class. For this lesson we're talking about adding and subtracting fractions. Our learning target for this lesson is I can add and subtract fractions with like denominators. That means that the denominators are the same. The first way I'm going to show you how to do this is with our fraction strips that we've been working with. So our first problem here in green is 1/4 plus 2/4. So the way you can do this with your fraction strips is show that on your fraction strip. So the first number is 1/4. So I'm going to cover up, I'm going to fold it so all I can see is 1/4. So I'm adding 2/4 so I want to see 2 more fourths. So I have my 1/4 and I unfold 2 more. Here is the one I started with. I added 2 more for a total of 3/4. I can show you how to do this with subtraction with the orange problem. It's 7/8 minus 3/8. So if we start with 7/8, so I'm just going to hide all but one, we have 7/8 shown there. We're subtracting, which means taking away, so I'm going to take away 3 of those 8s. So I'll take away this one, and this one. And I'm left with 4/8. The important thing to remember when we're adding and subtracting fractions, that the denominator does not change. It stays the same. The only thing that has changed is the top number. See the fourths, eighths, eighths. Denominators stay the same. Very important to remember that when adding and subtracting with like denominators. I'm going to show you a different way to do this using paper and pencil, so without any manipulatives like fraction strips. Same exact problems that we worked with before. So 1/4 plus 2/4, all you have to do, I'm using marker and whiteboard instead of paper and pencil, but all you have to do is you add the top numbers. You don't do anything to the bottom numbers. So the numerators we're going to add together. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And the denominators stay the same. So our answer is 3/4. Then for 7/8 minus 3/8, we do the same thing, except we got to remember we're subtracting. We always want to look at what operation we're doing. Sometimes I even circle it so I don't forget. So 7 minus 3 equals 4, and the denominator always stays the same, so our answer is 4/8. That's 2 different ways that you can solve addition and subtraction fraction problems. Now it's time for you to try it. So in the practice work part of your note catcher, you don't have any vocabulary, by the way, for this lesson. But for the practice part, you're going to write down this problem. Number 1, 3/8 plus 2/8 equals, and then you're going to write your answer. I want the whole problem shown. You can use the fraction strips methods I showed you first, or the paper and pencil, you choose. And then your second problem is 11/12 minus 4/12 equals box. So write the whole problem, number it, and then answer it. And we'll check that in class. Your last thing you're going to do, like I said, there's no vocabulary. You had 2 practice problems, and then your summarize. Here's your question I want you to think about for the summarize. What happens to the denominators when you add or subtract fractions? I want you to actually write this as a sentence. So write, when I add or subtract fractions, and then kind of fill in the blank, what happens to the denominators? And then I want you also to give me an example. So blank plus blank equals blank, and actually show how that works with an example like I did on my other problems that I showed you. So you kind of get to be the teacher with an example of your own. And as always, if you have any questions, write those down. On your note catcher, they need to be specific and ones that we can answer right away at the beginning of class. And that's it.